Do the trashy pulp novels of the world have anything to offer? Are bestsellers all they're hyped up to be? The Terrible Book Club explores whether or not you really can judge a book by its cover or its ridiculous synopsis. If you've ever seen a book and thought, ugh, who's reading this? We probably are.
Hello and welcome to episode 142 of the Terrible Book Club. I am Chris, and this is Paris.
Hello.
This time we read Dating in Crypto by Gabriel Bell, published on January 1st, 2022. This was another bizarre advice book that I dredged up from the bowels of Amazon's short reads category, a recurring favorite of mine now, because boy, do we have to put generally a lot less effort into getting through these things, although it's like shorter page amount, but they're denser to get through, right? Like the books that are nice to read, that's an airy breeze in which you can just swim through, but these, it's just like stepping into concrete that's setting as you try to push your way through it.
Yeah, I was going to say that this isn't, I don't know that we really win here. Like, I don't know that there's ever a path to us not being in pain in one way or another. But yeah, Chris is not kidding. He loves doing this. Sometimes I will be at work and then I'll be like, oh, my Facebook Messenger is blowing up, and it's just Chris sending me link after link to these weird short read shit. Some of them.
You must choose.
So if this is your first time listening to this show, what we do here at the Terrible Book Club is we read books that we assume will be bad based on their cover, title, summary, or some combination of the three. Sometimes we read books that our patrons, listeners, or friends recommend. But typically we do the opposite of what most people do when they are in a bookstore or while they're browsing the internet looking for something to read. Usually this experiment results in a disappointing and hilarious read, but once in a while we do actually end up liking the book. Content warnings today. In addition to our usual barnyard language, today's episode includes discussion of just a bunch of shitty dating stereotypes and the usual gendered weirdness that comes along with that if you're in any kind of, like, I guess, American bullshit in 2022. I don't know. I don't think I need to go into any more detail.
You've heard of Jordan Peterson before, perhaps? Ben Shapiro. You might have encountered these weird ideas about how men supposed to be.
Well, not even, I mean, yes, you are correct that all of those people are kind of they're sort of the extreme end of that, but these ideas I think are actually pervasive in much of our society.
100%.
So so if you're used to all the shitty stuff that comes out of living in this capitalist hellscape, that's what today's book is about.
All right. I think I'm going to read the Amazon page summary for this, which is an interesting one because it's basically just the first couple chapters of the book. Not verbatim, but quite close to verbatim, I would say. So
I think it actually is 3 pages of the book just copy-pasted. I think it is the first 3 pages of the book.
That would vibe with how much effort was put into this book here. So, settle down. Grab a crypto snack or something. I don't know.
Oh, Chris, it's literally
NFT Cheez-Its or whatever.
It is literally the introduction, and then also part of another chapter. So yeah, it's just passages from the book as the back of the book summary. All
right, well this is how this guy sells you on it. So this is usually what we do here at this point in the show. So here we go. Strap in. Get your NFT Cheez-Its ready. Okay, so I know what you're thinking from the jump. What in the hell does dating and crypto have to do with each other? How do these two very different subject matters correlate, and why in the world am I writing a book about it? Well, I'm glad you asked. During my time as a dating coach, one common thing that comes up as an issue with both men and women is money. That's right, it's not love, it's not trust, it's not infidelity, masculinity, femininity, lack of options, weight, location, or any of the other number of issues men and women complain about when it comes to dating. It's money. The men believe that there just isn't enough money to go around, and that the women have unrealistic expectations when it comes to who is financially obligated to pay for things while dating. Men feel it is very unfair that the financial burden of paying for dates falls solely on them, especially considering how much money women make these days. Men claim that the feminism
What? Where?
It's spelled Feminisnt.
Okay.
Men claim that the feminism fought for equality, so women need to pay their fair share even when dating. That means going Dutch or even paying for the entire date. Women, on the other hand, feel as if the men are complaining about paying for dates because they are lazy and broke. They feel as if men just want casual hookups these days and are looking for easy access to sex. In addition, they feel like men these days aren't making much money and simply just don't have the means to pay for dates, and that this is the underlying issue when it comes to men paying. Honestly, I feel like both sides make a valid argument, but I want to do a deep dive into the dating market today and see how necessary finances are to date successfully. You ready for some in-depth research? First, I want to look at what the average first date costs here in the States. According to a Lending Tree study in 2019, the average cost for a first date was $77. They also broke down by age how much people spend on a first date. The age group and the cost are as follow. Gen Z, ages 18 to 23, $72. Millennials, ages 24 to 39,
You're
$83.
actively killing me.
Gen X, ages 40 to 54, $82. Baby boomers, ages 55 to 74, $58. From an annual perspective, each group spends the following on dates. Gen Z, ages 18 to 23, $366. Millennials, ages 24 to 39, $696. Gen X, ages 40 to 54, $903. Baby boomers, ages 55 to 74, $632. As far as gender goes, men spend on average of $861 annually on dates, whereas women spend $500 annually. This is no surprise, as most of society tends to adopt traditional values when it comes to courtship, where the men pay for the first date. These numbers are very interesting, and it supports the argument that dating is expensive, and in order to participate in this game, it is in your best interest to be financially stable. The most damning thing about this study, however, is not what people spend on dates, but how often people cancel dates. According to the study, 1 in 3 people have canceled dates due to not having enough money. According to the study, 50% were honest with the person about not being able to afford the date, while roughly 20% said they would just use a credit card. I found this to be fascinating, yet not surprising, as many Americans are drowning in debt and living paycheck to paycheck. So yes, dating is actually reserved for the financially capable, but there is another part of this that needs to be discussed that is unique to Black Americans. End of summary.
Whew. Honestly, I am impressed that you got through that. I was just disintegrating while that was being read.
That's not how you do the summary for the Amazon page for a book that is about 40 pages long. It's not what you're supposed to do.
I mean, honestly, if you it's actually less than that. It's because there's no actual content until page 6. And then I think the last several pages are like definitions. So 6 to 42 has content. So do some basic math. We're talking about 30-something page book here.
36.
Yes, 36 page book here. I use that word loosely. Right.
Okay.
So, thank you, Chris, for struggling through that. Yeah. So the characters and setting, hey, it's a self-help book. So the character is you, and the assumption in this book is that you are a straight cis black man, maybe a woman, in 2020. And you are looking to date and have money for dating.
Kind of a weird assumption, but okay. I don't know why you would needlessly limit your side hustle book sales here to that demo, because let's be clear that this is what's happening here.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. I mean, it's fine if you have a specific audience. Like, I don't have any problem with this book being written for, specifically, like,
but it
Black
doesn't
Americans,
really do anything to actually speak to that audience.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we'll get there.
I'm sorry.
Don't worry. This is our summary that we provide of the actual book, so it's not going to be a weird ranting introduction like the summary that the author provided. This is our summary of what this book is. You need to make more than $41,000 a year in order to date quote-unquote good quality partners. Therefore, get a job in, quote, tech or, quote, trades, and invest in cryptocurrency to create short-term wealth and generational wealth for your progeny. Ta-da!
Wow, that was really easy. It's almost like you could get the point of this very short book across in less than 4 pages, 3 pages. What was that?
Yeah, I did it in 1 sentence, actually.
Yeah, you shouldn't post roughly 8% of your book as the summary.
Yeah, that's a good rule. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna. What were the things that were good about this book, Chris? What was good?
I mean, if you're into paying $10 for what's probably the pinned frequently asked questions post at the top of r/crypto, cool, great.
Yeah,
It's extremely basic information that I guess if you really only trust self-published Amazon authors for your information on financial literacy,
Chris,
I guess
I'm gonna argue with you that this is not a good. You didn't have a good point for this book, and I feel like you just really tried.
I'm really
and failed.
trying to justify having anything good to say. I like to have at least one good thing to say.
It's true. I have a good thing about this book. It's truly a good thing. The author is correct about the plight of Americans and Black Americans in particular. We truly live in hell in America in an anti-Black society. Once again, the villain is white patriarchal capitalism. Unfortunately, the author kind of falls into the all too common trap of buying into the hegemonic ideas and believing that these are the things to strive for, and that fighting with sheer will on an individual level is the solution, which is
it's
obviously
just the way things are and the way things work, and you shouldn't do anything to question that. You just need to work harder. Just keep working hard. I promise you it'll work out.
Yeah.
Also, just gamble. Just guess. Just guess.
Yeah.
That's the strategy here is just guess and gamble on your money that you're trying to save up to survive in this capitalist hellscape on some fucking bullshit.
I gotta range this in here. Good lord. Okay, so again, back to the main point of the author is correct that this is a problem. Like, if you are American and you are Black in this society, shit fucking sucks for you. It also sucks for, other people who are non-white, but largely Black Americans have kind of a singular suck that is hardly rivaled by other groups, and I don't think I need to get into why that is. You have a computer, but I don't know, that hasn't really saved us, has it? I guess my point being is that, like, I understand the motivations behind this book. Like, it gets to a point in the society, especially for Black Americans, but honestly for a lot of us who aren't Black, that if you are born poor, if you're born Black, if you're born poor and Black, like, there are just, oh man, it is fucking tough to make it. And it's not always about bootstrap pulling, right? And so I can understand that after trying really hard and still not really getting anywhere, that you end up grasping at straws like crypto and like buying into kind of the hegemonic ideas of the society because you're just desperate to make your life better and the lives of your family members better and the people that you most care about. And so I do have some empathy here. Like, I understand how books like this happen. I think this is awful in every way, but I understand how people get here. And I just want to make that point that, like, we're not here saying, like, oh, haha, this stupid idiot with bad ideas. It's like, nah, man. Like, if you were in his position, you might fucking end up here, too. Like, you might also end up being like, oh, yeah, all of this is what I have to do. Because we live in hell in America.
Also, I'm not entirely opposed to, a lottery ticket or throwing a small sum of money just as the, like, I don't know, what if? Like, right? Well, if you're throwing $50 into this, why not see what's up there? That's not a terrible thing to do.
Chris, you're really skipping ahead. You are really off script to this episode. Can we...
I disagree that there's ever a script. I'm fundamentally script agnostic.
Okay. Well, I just think that we can build a greater narrative. So yeah, I just want to say that I understand how this book happens. I have empathy for this situation. Like, I get it, man. It's fucking hard out there. I understand. However, I don't come to the same conclusions as to, like, why it's hard and how we solve that to make it less hard, right? So, I don't have anything else about this being good, and I'm really sorry, but that is just sometimes how it is with these books.
You know, I don't have anything else to add.
Fresh out of good things about this book. So, off we go to things that were bad. Off we go. The first thing that struck me about this book is, why do I care what this author thinks? Why do I give a shit what Gabriel Bell has to say about dating or cryptocurrency? He does not establish any authority on either subject in the book or the summary, and so it leaves me to be like, why do I give a shit what you have to say? You know? Like, an advice book should be from somebody who has experience, some kind of expert in something. He only makes a casual reference to being a dating coach, but that doesn't tell me anything. Like, it would be way more effective if he would be like, hey, in my X number of years as a dating coach, I've been able to pair like this many people successfully, and like I have all this experience. Whatever. He doesn't do that at all. And also, zero credibility for cryptocurrency or economics. Zero. There's nothing. There's nothing explaining this.
Here's my point to this. So the book is called Dating and Crypto. And okay, you're a dating coach. So give me some insight into how these disparate ideas might be connected, as you say in your intro/summary. Guess what, Paris? That summary is the whole thing. It doesn't go any deeper than that. He doesn't try to draw any kind of parallels to how dating and crypto could be interrelated or how one could support the other. As a dating coach, you would think that would maybe he would have a little minor enlightenment into that, or something that I hadn't considered, or a way perhaps that blockchain technology could be leveraged for dating services or something like that. He had this brilliant idea or something like that, because that's your expertise, right? Is like dating coaches. But no, that it's all just in that 3 pages is how it's related to dating, and then the rest of it is just the basics of crypto, which you're not an expert on. So as Paris so eloquently put it, why do I care what you think about this?
Yeah, and I even think the bait would be a little bit better if he, you know, one, gave us actual detail about his expertise as a dating coach. Like, if he, again, you know, what I just said about giving actual examples, like how long he's done it, his history, his success. But secondly, if he had tacked on, like, hey, this was what I did with crypto and I found it successful, like, I invested, you know, $5,000, that's already become 25 grand. And like, this is like, you know, this is.
Yeah, he doesn't even boast about his own crypto success.
which is a total missed opportunity, right? I mean, unless it doesn't exist, which is also possible. But like, there's nothing to make me trust you as an author. There's nothing. Why do I care? You do not establish credibility at all. And so I think, I mean, and I, you know, later after reading this book, I think I understood why. It's because this book is a side hustle in itself. This book's existence is predicated on you already, like, knowing, like, it exists because he's trying to build this little multimedia empire or whatever to get passive income. And so this book is there to serve as that. So you would only find this book if you already knew who he was, and I guess liked what he said about dating. But to me, that doesn't work really well, because then you're just isolating yourself to just the people who have heard you talk about dating or whatever. Because I think I gathered that he has like a podcast or he's on some app
he's on Twitch.
like voice. No, it's called like, oh my god, I forget if it's called like Chat Room or Chat Box or fucking, oh
Chat
god.
Hole. Listen to me in the chat hole, please.
Yeah, it's something like that. It's some app where you can only get on by being invited, and they're just voice chat rooms, essentially. So, like, imagine AOL in the 90s, but just voice. Yeah,
great.
Sounds great.
The wave of the future.
Yeah, I mean,
see, there's his credibility for understanding new technologies.
Well, no, he didn't make it. He's just a user on the app.
That's the joke.
Anyway, so that's all I gathered, is that he basically has like a podcast or something about dating. But I didn't know that until I Googled his fucking name. Like, and
there's
even
not
then,
even about the author in here to talk himself up.
And even then, I think that if you're doing any kind of advice or self-help book, you need to establish credibility. This book did not do that. First problem. Second problem. Chris, do you want to? You could take this one away. This book is a bigger ripoff than Crypto itself, I think you wrote.
It really is. It's exactly true. Because, again, the same beef that I have with the title here. It's really, honestly, it's a titling problem I have with this, and the promise that you're selling me in the summary that you're going to combine dating and cryptocurrency, when really it just boils down to the surface level thought of, like, more money means you do better at dates. It didn't have to be crypto about any of that. You could have just, like, financial literacy and dating and how that will help you, and cryptocurrency could have been one part of that. Also, on top of that, like, okay, so you are going to focus more on the crypto side of things instead of the dating side of things, but then within the book itself, he writes, "Oh, I'm coming up with this crypto course that you can buy later. If you're not going to tell me about the dating in this book, I thought it would be about the crypto, which apparently I'm also not getting here. So why did I spend $10 on it, sir? What information am I actually paying for here? The realization that financial stability helps me when I'm dating? Is that it? Is that all you have to say to me? Because I do feel swindled in this respect.
Again, there is no actual value for the purchaser of this book. The value is only in that it exists as a side hustle to get probably $5 a sale out of, for the author to net like maybe $4 to $5 out of every sale, because this is $9.99, fucking $9.99, your patron dollars at work.
Bought this dude a coffee at some point.
Yeah, I mean, and with the way, I mean, I don't know a whole lot about Amazon payouts, but the way it works is $9.99 is kind of the sweet spot if you think you can get people to pay for it, because it's the maximum amount you can charge and get, I think, a 60 or 70% cut. And then I assume that, after like taxes or other fees, he's probably getting $45 for every one of these he sells, which, like, good on him for calculating, this fucking trick, right? And that's the whole thing. This whole book only serves to get him, it's another income stream, which, honestly, write about that. Write about your fucking plan.
It would have been better if you just wrote that into the book of just being like, hey, I swindled you into giving you $5. Here's how you can do it too.
Yes!
Simply go to the top of any Reddit and copy paste the fact.
Yes! Go to any fucking popular Reddit niche. Yeah, copy the facts and questions into a book and sell. Like, I totally agree with you. At least if it was like, I'm a con man and I'm gonna teach you how to con too. Sick. Pull people into it. Like, I think that would be way better than this. This just makes people feel stupid for having bought it, right?
Yeah, again. If you're gonna come at me with like, well, what did you think the connection between dating and cryptocurrency would be aside from just building financial stability? It's like, I don't know. You promised me something in the summary that you would draw this connection, and it is your responsibility as the writer to give me that new and unique perspective that I hadn't considered before.
Yeah,
honestly,
and guess what? That course he promised still doesn't exist. This came out January 1st, 2020. It is June of 2022. Well, I guess probably July or August when this comes out. I forget. So, at this point in time, it is June in our timeline, and this course doesn't exist, as far as I can see, unless it's, like, locked behind a paywall or something, but I was unable to find it, because I was interested. I was like, oh, I wonder if he actually followed through on that, and he did not, as far as I can tell. If he did, it is not easily accessible. Excuse
Do
me.
you, Paris, do
Yes.
you feel like this book is the companion to Hoe Tactics?
I feel like it is the enemy to Hoe Tactics. I would actually love to see Hoe Tacticians face off against the Bellites. Like, could someone coached by Gabriel Bell spot a Hoe Tactician? Or would the Hoe Tactician succeed?
I think the Hoe Tactician would prevail, to be honest with you, because they
agree
can
with
spot
you.
the mark in the Bellite that is doing just like this cryptocurrency stuff just to get a leg up on
Dude,
getting quote-unquote good quality women. That's
totally
100% the mark for the Hoe Tacticians.
Yeah, I agree. Because as again, I'm using the terminology of the Hoe Tactics book. I think, does the book call them smart hoes? I think it does. It's been literally 5 years since we read this. I do not remember, but I believe the author says like the smart hoes will like do this. I truly feel that a Hoe Tactician general would do her research on crypto and be like, yeah, okay, I get it, whatever, or like just know that dudes that are into crypto are just they're.
And especially if you're reading this book where you think paying for the date is like the way to show your value, of course you're going to be paying for those nice headphones for the headphone test like giving them lobster dinners and shit like that.
Yeah, okay. Hoe Tacticians versus the Bellites. I want to see it. I want to see it happen.
I'm sure it's happening day to day on the front lines.
We're not there to see it. It's too bad. I read that book. I want to see it. Okay, so here's the next problem. Actually, if you want to start this one, I can follow it up.
Well, just that the stats on average date cost and who should be paying for dates are the usual bullshit we've been seeing before. I'm not saying the stats are bullshit. He does cite these lending tree studies.
Oh,
but
I'm gonna get into that. Don't you worry.
Yeah,
Don't you worry.
It's just one study, of course, but like it's just the usual framing of dates and dating and relationships as this, paperwork thing where you have to like have all these good qualities on paper, and that's what's going to get you the date, and that's what's going to give you success in dating. And sure, there's plenty of people out there that do stick to that more traditionalist idea of dating, even though traditionalist is also a misnomer. Dating has been very different throughout the generations, and of course, things have not been this way that has been before, just for clarification there.
Yes.
But you can simply choose not to engage with that crowd if it's a hassle for you, or you'd think, you wouldn't be successful with someone who's looking for that specific set of criteria, which is, of course, is your prerogative. If you really do want someone that is, financially stable, and that's a big thing for you for dating, great. That's cool. I'm not ragging on that. But it doesn't have to be that way for everyone, and plenty of us out here are splitting first dates, or even is almost referred to in horror in that summary, having the woman pay for the first date. I'm pretty sure the current trend among folks who don't needlessly gender their dating budget is whoever suggests the place that you're doing the date is the one that offers to pay first. And then you do the usual dance of like, I can split it. And the other person says, no, but I can get it. And if the other person insists on splitting it, you just let them fucking split it. Right? Like, it's not this like crazy dance that we have to do to prove who has financial value for who. And it just rubs me the wrong way, because when you put the nuance and wildness of humans interacting in dating circles down to this sheet of checkboxes you must tick off, because it's absolutely not the same person to person. And the thing that's going to dictate your success in dating and relationships is probably being able to read each individual on an individual level and adapt to them as the situation arises, instead of just having your formula for how to approach things and like, well, if I hit all these marks, then it must go well for me. No, it's one of the ultimate tests of social improvisation is dating. And that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, and also, if you are so focused on playing a fucking role, that person is eventually going to realize you are not the role that you are playing, and you are a human who may be different from all those little boxes that you checked off.
Or even if you are playing that role fantastically, that's fucking boring, and that sucks, because weird. It's just like a normalized, completely edgeless, gray melange of nothing that has no interest.
Well, yeah, and it's like, just be fucking honest. If, like, all you're looking for literally is someone to be a financial partner with you so that you can get through this, again, this fucking horrible timeline in which we all live, like, be upfront about it. Be like, look, I'm really just looking for someone to be, like, a financial partner. We don't even have to be romantic partners. Like, I want to be able to buy a house, to have fucking equity in a home. I need somewhere for my kid. Like, I just feel like if people could just be fucking honest about what they want, we would not have to do these stupid dances. So I have several issues. One, let's talk about the stats. The stats that he references as a lending tree study, it's a single survey from fucking Lending Tree. So, like,
a survey and study are absolutely the same thing, Paris, right? Right?
No, they're not. But the big problem here is, like, you are using data from one survey without information on the motive behind the survey. We don't have information on the population surveyed beyond gender and age and like age category. So we have no idea if this was a survey. Like, we don't know what questions the survey asked and how they asked them, because that can massively change how people answer, right? We also don't know if this population was only conservatives, only people with high school educations, if these people were all white or all Latino, or, like, there's so many things that you don't know about the population, again, in this single survey. How the fuck can you use this as a justification for anything? It is a snapshot in time of people, and you don't even know who those people are. You cannot build a book off of this.
It's his deep dive into dating, Paris. He promises a deep dive, and a deep dive is the 4th result on Google. Let me tell you, I went down really, really deep. Paris, how is this not? How are all the stats in this book not 1 30-minute session of Googling? Right? Like, you cannot tell me that even 30 minutes is probably too far.
Well, no, I'm not gonna say, oh, just Google stuff, but I'm saying, like,
what I'm saying is that's the only effort he put into this for his supposed fucking deep dive. That's the maximum amount of time I'm willing to bet was spent on this deep research.
Yeah, it really should not be framed as deep research. It is a single survey. Again, for all of the reasons I explained, you can't rest all of these things you say are true on this single survey that was just about how much people spend on dating, and again, you don't know anything about the population beyond gender and age. You need, like, it would be totally fine if he did a literature review or, like, found a bunch of different surveys. I mean, his main demographic here is, like, Black Americans. So, and it's weird because he references this site called blackdemographics.org, which didn't exist. And that's because it was a fucking typo. It's blackdemographics.com. He had me thinking that he made up a source, and I was like, wow, that's heinous. And then I was like, oh, he just mistyped it. This is another, like, you gotta have people edit.
Here's how we found that out is I accidentally typed in blackdemographics.com when, like, checking that. And I told you, like, oh, here it is. And you were like, what?
Yeah, because I went to blackdemographics.org and it didn't exist. And I was like, holy shit. Like you said to check, Mr. Sir. Yes. And so, and again, to be fair, that site, I mean, he didn't reference any dating data from that site. He used that site only to reference median salary for Black men and stuff, which is, you know, pretty approximate. It's fine. Blackdemographics.com is a little poorly organized. I didn't really have time to do, like, a deep analysis of their data, but it seemed fine. You know, just a surface glance at some statistics that I kind of knew in my head, a ballpark for. It looked fine. You know, it was fine. I'm not gonna pick on that too much, but like, don't accidentally type the wrong site, because then it looks like you're just lying when you weren't, but you're not being careful enough, so then you come off as even more, you know, I don't know, like, untrustworthy,
sloppy,
right? Sloppy. Yeah. Secondly, okay, so the whole stats thing is just bullshit. Throw it in the garbage. there's also this central idea that a date equals eating an expensive meal. There is no thought given to any other type of date, which is really odd to me. I'm like, yeah, I know.
To be fair, the majority of my dates with my partner, we do specifically look for like extra fancy meals to do, but that's not the only thing we ever do ever.
That's not a first or second or third.
I took
maybe,
her to Yume for our first date, so you know.
Wait, what?
I took her to Yume for our first date, so.
But that's fine. That's like a fast casual kind of.
Yeah,
and that's also
$30.
But that's also a unique experience. Yume is
yes.
I would say that's an interesting place. Anyway, I think it's like I'm saying I understand that it is common that other humans go on first or
it's
second
absolutely
dates and go to
the
a
most
meal.
common way to do.
But I'm saying, good God, there are so many other things you could do. You could, I don't know, go out for a, like, coffee or a tea. You could go to an art museum, an aquarium, a science center. You could even go on a free night. You could take a walk in a populated area, like a well-trafficked park. I say that because you would never want to ask someone to meet you for, like, a dark walk in your neighborhood at night. That would be weird. But, like, I don't know, because Boston has a lot of areas like this. Like, I don't know. I mean, personally, I find the seaport bougie and shitty, but like, you could take a walk around like the parks of the seaport, or even the weird, creepy, like manufactured shops or whatever. You could take a walk around Harvard Square. You could go for a walk in Mount Auburn Cemetery. You could go to Cambridge Common. Like, you could go to Boston. I mean, there's all these things you could do. You could, I don't know, go watch a sports game if you're both into sports at a pub and maybe not order anything or get like one drink. Like, I don't understand. You could go on a, you know, if you could go, the lack of creativity here hurts me inside.
Why don't we check out my crypto portfolio together, baby?
Oh.
Are you interested in that? I can tell you the basics of it. Why don't we meet for a drink and we can discuss cryptocurrencies?
Oh, God.
Have you heard of Dogecoin?
Anyway, this whole idea that we have to prove to someone that we can spend enough money to get them an okay dinner is just, it's so, like you said, it's boring, and it doesn't,
shows a lack of creativity.
Sometimes I feel like a fucking alien, Chris. Oh, and then, sorry, this last point on this topic is, like, sometimes women don't want you to pay for a date because they don't want to feel indebted for sex to the person they're on a date with, because so many men adopt the ideas that are present in this book that are like, oh, man, pay for date, then lady have sex with me. And some women are uncomfortable with that idea, and so they're like, all right, let's split, or I'll pay for it this time, or, you know, whatever, just because I don't want that expectation, because it is absolutely real and it sucks. Like, nobody, because what, you know, if you're like, I don't know, date, I'm not into that. I don't want to have weird sex with this man. I'm not interested. But if he pays for the date, I don't care how
expensive the lobster was.
Yeah, I don't care how many weird sea bugs that used to be trash are covered in butter on my plate. Anyway, I just think that this book promises a deep dive, but is actually quite shallow in every respect.
It's barely a puddle, dude.
Yeah. All right, next point. Now we're getting into the economic, the crypto and the job stuff.
Okay, yeah. So let's actually move into the majority of the book here, where all this advice, like I said, it's basically the first post in the I want to get into crypto forum that you like log into for the first time because you're vaguely interested in it. It's like the basics of how to set up a portfolio and what some basic terms are, and perhaps the biggest crypto insight we see is have a couple different portfolios and, I don't know, choose trustworthy crypto coins based on what celebrities and companies are investing in them, which is some boneheaded fucking investing advice, man. It's because, listen, just because Snoop Dogg invested in some cryptocurrency doesn't mean that it's like guaranteed to do good. It just means that Snoop has the excess money to make bigger gambles on things than you. That's all it means.
Yeah, the idea, like, people who are
I say Snoop
already
Dogg because
wealthy.
that's the example he used for, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I know. I mean, and yeah, there's just this lack of awareness of, like, rich people have money to fucking set on fire. Therefore, they will invest in all kinds of shit because they have the ability to spread a lot of money very widely and then just get lucky on the one thing that works out. If you, a person who are poor in America, making under $40K a year, you don't have that. You don't have money to throw away because you have to eat. And you have to pay for your housing and your fucking kids, probably. Like, there's so many things that make that idea stupid. Like, it would be different if it was couched in a more responsible way. If it was like, well, you know, maybe if you do have a little bit more money to invest and you do want to take a chance on something, you could take a look at what, you know, celebrities are doing and maybe do some investigations in there. But I don't know, I wouldn't even say that. But yeah, I just feel like it's irresponsible to tell people who already don't have money to then invest in shit that rich people are investing in. Like, there's also no guarantee that a rich person's investments are smart. Again, they have the capital and the means to put a lot of money into many different things because they have that ability, there is a greater likelihood that one of them will work out and then net them more money. Like, there are so many examples of rich people investments that didn't work out.
Not just rich people, he also uses what are companies, corporations investing in at the same time as a good way to gauge what cryptocurrency you're going to invest in. But just like rich people, corporations, same thing. They have the money to bet more than you would. But that's like the deepest advice in here, right? Like, what other financial insight is there in here?
Well, let's move on. Let's get deeper into this puddle. Yeah.
I've already broken my ankle jumping into it, Paris.
And now your nose is barely above water and you're trying to stay alive. So, yeah, I mean, you started this next point. So this is, I mean, I guess fair warning, if you're like into cryptocurrency, you probably don't want to listen to the next approximately 10 minutes of this podcast. So in this book that's like, use crypto, get money, you know, get dates, this book admits most people do not make money with cryptocurrency. So why should your reader assume that they're going to be the special one? And this book doesn't even have advice on how to, like, you know, how to navigate this extremely volatile landscape. All it says is like, oh, have multiple portfolios. Like, if this is sort of the similar point we were just making. It's like, if you already don't have resources because you're poor, then all of this is just a gamble that you're going to just happen to buy into some crypto coin at a low rate before it takes off and then you can cash out, which is honestly not any different from other speculative markets, right? And there's just this myth that people, there's a popular myth that people adhere to around speculative markets, where they think that speculative markets are like gravity, when in fact they are not. What I mean is that people think, oh, well, if those guys made money and Ethereum was like $500 a coin 5 years ago, it has to happen again. There is no certainty that any crypto coin will ever return to a previous or higher value than it currently is. Like, you just, like, it doesn't mean that, like, you throw ball in the air, it must come down. Like, that's not how this works. Like, oh, crypto coin goes up, goes down, it must go up, or whatever. You know, it's sort of a reverse idea. But it's really a fantasy because, I mean, hear me out. Crypto hype in general is essentially a pyramid scheme because you have the people who got in at the beginning and have been making money off of the people they convinced to get involved behind them. But now that trail of people is so long that the very few who are also almost always the already rich are the only ones making anything. So, like, I know people are going to push back and say, like, oh, it's not a pyramid scheme because, like, technically, yeah, fuck off. Cryptocurrency is technically a thing that exists very technically speaking, but I still feel like this is a pyramid-ish shape, right? Because it has no other use so far than as a token, right? It's not like a lotion or a sandwich or even a piece of art I can enjoy with my fucking eyes.
Well, NFTs though. NFTs though.
Chris, I'm going to actually push your head deeper into the puddle so you die sooner if you talk to me about NFTs. So it's like, and I understand that the blockchain technology behind it or other technologies surrounding it, I'm not sure, but I understand that it's possible that those could be useful for something other than making these currencies, right? Second point, it is completely unregulated and there are no safeguards when mistakes are made. Did you forget your passphrase? Too fucking bad. Your money is lost forever. Did you accidentally type one digit incorrectly? Oops, you sent it into the void instead of your wallet or your friend's wallet, and it is irretrievable. There is no one to go to if you make a mistake. If someone else makes a mistake, if someone steals your shit, you're fucked. And if you're already poor, you cannot afford to be fucked like that. You can't. It is only for people who would not miss that money. So like, if you can put $5 into crypto, fucking go ahead, man. If you're not gonna miss $5, cool. But like, most people are putting way more than that into it, is my point. And I don't see how it's any different than buying a bunch of scratchers at the gas station. Well, I mean,
except maybe you can turn around and try to sell that scratcher to the person behind you in line with the promise that it might be worth something later. So you should give me $6 for this that I spent $5 on because it might be worth $7.
Yeah, I think it's a little different just because like speculative markets and scratch tickets actually have a someone somewhere knows how much each ticket is worth and which tickets are the big monies, and like you can do some. It's a little different, but
I agree, but just a poor metaphor.
Yeah, it's also gambling. Yeah, and so lastly, it is insanely volatile in value. Imagine if one day $5 bought you, like, I don't know, 5 fucking Baja tacos at Taco Bell or whatever. But tomorrow, you could actually get 85 tacos, but then it was negative 15 tacos the day after that. You would lose your fucking mind trying to organize your life around minding, trading, trends, and speculation just to be able to use this currency. So, this is my argument against it being like a widespread, currency for things. And lastly, like, it is not for poor people. I guess I already said that. I'm sorry. This topic makes me so angry because I have had so many people try to proselytize to me about crypto, and it made me do so much reading that I didn't need to do and research. And I was like, no, this is just as stupid as I thought it was. It is point being, the big point here is cryptocurrency is not for anyone who cannot lose the money they put into it and still eat food, have shelter, and not have their life disrupted. So yes, if you want to put $5 or $10 in crypto and you can afford that, do it up. I don't care.
It's very poor advice for financial stability.
Right. How is this financial stability?
You'd have more success just slapping that shit into an S&P 500 index fund. So even if you're comparing crypto to like stock markets have way more stability. And even those are kind of unstable. But in comparison to cryptocurrency, it's like a fucking boat on an even sea in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I mean, I also hate the stock market. It is also, it's a speculative market, similarly.
True, but you at least have some previous trends to base things on that are somewhat generally heading in the same direction.
Yeah, and like the other issue, again, with cryptocurrency is how unregulated, unprotected it is. There are no safeguards. It's like if you put, your money into whatever, some stocks, and it's not going well, and you're like, okay, I actually want to move this stock over here. There's no chance that this broker isn't going to move that stock over there for you. Like with cryptocurrency, if you type a fucking number in wrong, you forget a passcode, you're fucked forever. You don't have access to that. Sorry, I know I already said this, but it's just so frustrating.
Worth repeating.
And I know I have heard the argument from other people that like, well, more people have phones and they have bank accounts in the world. Therefore, this is the answer. And it's like, you are making a jump there that does that.
I don't even see how that is relevant.
And there have even
crypto
been
just seems like the shittier version of all of these. It's like a shittier stock market.
Yep.
It's a shittier currency.
Yep.
It's a shittier pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
At least with the fucking MLMs, I have like 40 boxes of fucking leggings or something, which I can put on my body for warmth.
Yeah, you can at least burn those for fuel someday.
Right?
And then die of the fumes you inhale. But yeah, I mean, you could at least, I don't know, cut them up, make something with them, like give them away. You could clothe human beings with them. You could give them to people who need clothes. Like, I mean...
Yeah, and even if you're out the money, at least you did something to help someone somewhere that was a net benefit to someone.
Right. And then, I mean, there are other dimensions of why I hate crypto. The energy usage, huge reason I hate it. And I know that there's like some technology and development that should make that energy less, but I don't care. I don't care. It's already bad. You're already burning forests.
We don't have to be doing it. It's for a big gambling party that everyone's having and hoping that they're going to be the one to cash out on the next sucker that bought in your spot in line, essentially.
Yeah, and like, so I feel like the amount of time you would need to really monitor the market and play the game, like you have to be like a full-time trader to really make this anything. Like if you really wanted to understand economics and you were really deep into crypto culture and you felt like you understood what the, you were kind of up on what the internet was gonna do, like, to whatever. It's a full-time job. Because I'm sorry, I don't think we were clear about this. The author is saying this is a source of passive income. And I'm like, no, if you really want to make a bunch of money that can then be the bedrock for stability, this has to be like your full-time gig. And even then, I wouldn't recommend that, but...
Nope.
Anyway, I know I'm sure we're gonna get a bunch of fucking hate mail about this, but I don't care.
Nope.
You cannot. I would have to be, no, I think I've read too much at this point. I don't think I could be convinced otherwise.
Yeah. All right. Moving on from crypto bad.
Yeah. Now we get, you want to make a steady income? You can have your passive crypto stream. Ooh, so lucrative. You should get a job in tech or trades. That's it. That's the end of the advice. Good luck.
Just do that. Why doesn't everyone just do that same thing? Why doesn't every human being follow the exact same path all the time and just do the thing that will guaranteed lead you to success no matter who or what you are or what your background is? Paris, it just seems so simple. I don't understand.
Yeah, and it's weird to me that there's no suggestion. Like, if you want to go into trades, like, here are some of the best trades that are like easy to get into and also net a decent salary.
Deep dive, market research.
Yeah, right. It's like there's no guidance. I would be more amenable to this book if there was something. You tell me, like, okay, like I don't know that these stats are real. This is an example. Like, all right, tell me, maybe think about becoming an HVAC technician. The overhead and the experience is low, but you actually end up making as much money as like a plumber, which takes way more time. You have to be in a union and stuff. Like, try that. Or like, here's some other options. Like, maybe if you're not into doing anything that technical, maybe you want to, like, I don't know, work with computers instead of like HVAC equipment. Be a help desk technician. This is like a good entry-level way to start that. Or, like, you could work remotely, like, if you're interested in working remote, whatever. Like, I'm sorry, I'm just, like, spitting out bullshit here, but there's nothing. Trades and tech. Like, dude, I'm pretty sure everyone immediately thinks, like, where's the money? Oh, yeah, trades and tech. Even though I don't know that I think those two categories are too large to generalize in that way, but I think it is a very common belief. So you just stating that. So
why is that
book,
insightful? Why is that like something that I paid $9.99 for?
Yeah. Pretty sure other people have thought about that, but there are barriers to getting into those things because, like, trades take a fucking lot of time of apprenticing in general. Or, you know, you have to actually spend time learning, and you often make a lot less money while you're apprenticing than you would, you know, once you are, like, officially, I forget if it's, like, I don't know if journeyman is used in every trade, but, you know, before you're actually, like, in the trade union or whatever. And it takes a lot of, you know, you have to have special skills and learning and take, like, courses, which cost money and time. And I really think that kind of stuff is just not thought about. It's just like, just do it. You can't. For people with...
That's not advice. Advice is like,
barriers.
Just do the thing. Why don't you just do the thing?
Yeah. Just do the thing. It's fine. You're in America. You have sanitation. Just fucking do it. You have electricity, whatever. You can do anything. And it's like, look, man, that might sound really good, but in practice, it's a lot more difficult. People have fucking medical issues. Maybe you got kids. You got a partner who needs you for some reason, a family member who maybe you're a caretaker. Like, there's
even aside from all those possibilities, just any insight into anything on any level in this book, just a little. All these points we're making is just coming back to the same idea of you're claiming that you're going to show me something insightful and well researched, and you just do not on any level whatsoever deliver that.
Yeah. I also question the whole, like, tech is the way to make money. Like, it's actually pretty difficult to get into any kind of tech job unless you have skills. Because, like, yeah, sure, you can get an entry-level help desk job, but one, there's a ton of people looking for them. Two, they don't really pay as well as you think they do.
I mean, I don't want to sit here and litigate the possibilities of, like, his generic advice here, because I don't think that's necessary for reviewing this book when it comes down to just, like, if you're talking about this as an advice book, it's just shitty, shallow advice that doesn't offer any insight into any of the points that he presents.
Oh, no, Chris, you need to schedule a $150 an hour consult with him to find out which tech job to pursue.
Oh, I see. That's the mistake I'm making. This is like the introductory thing into me trusting you with my $150 that you're going to give me that advice, because, of course, you present something in here for me to fucking trust you with that shit. Fuck off, honestly.
Yeah, so typically I don't do we really try not to read a lot about the authors, because we don't, we just want to read a book on its merits. But I really wanted to know if Gabriel Bell had any expertise in cryptocurrency or dating. Did a quick Google and discovered that, this is just all, it's all of his side hustles and his ideas for passive income. And again, I'm not saying he's like a bad person for doing that. I just kind of wish that he would provide a little more substance, in this. And charging $150 an hour to consult with him sounds like a lot for people who already don't have a lot of money, presumably. So that doesn't feel great. Like, if he really wanted to help people...
The content of this book doesn't make it seem promising that you're going to offer any really in-depth, insightful stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and to be fair, the book does not say, oh, you should book a consult with him. It just says, oh, all this information is going to be in my next book, which doesn't exist yet. So, yeah, it just feels like this is all grift and no substance, which, if it's gonna get him through this world, I guess whatever. But it is a bummer, right? Because you at least expect something. You don't want like 100% pure grift. That's the worst.
At least dust it with a little something to cut the effect there, man.
Yeah, if you can provide a service and and make money, that's great. I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I guess
I don't have much more to add here,
this
man.
Is it. Yeah, I think we've talked this thing into.
I guess, Paris, my last question to you is if you had to have your own side hustle grift of copying and pasting the top post in a subreddit, what would your selections be? What do you think you would publish?
Ooh, what would my grift be? To make like a self-help book about nothing?
Anything. Mine would be like, I would just take all of the random guitar form advice out there that is not well researched at all and slap it all into my Chris's Mega Guitar Bible that has just all different advice from thousands and thousands of different people telling you to adjust your truss rod. That's the source of all problems. Just
make sure
adjust your truss rod.
Make sure your electric guitar has a great tone wood.
Yeah, let me tell you, it's mahogany or bust.
I don't know. I don't know that I have a good grift. I mean, what do I know about? I mean, I know about singing and writing, like technical writing and data, some database data stuff. I don't really know how to categorize that.
You could just make a book about doing a spreadsheet and just have the content of it.
Oh my god, like wicked obvious fucking basic ass like spreadsheet shit. Yeah, that would be my grift. Like, hey,
like
did you know
how
to
start and install Excel? How to install Excel is the whole entire book.
No, it's like I'll save you I don't know, hours of your time by showing you like the fill in series function or like the sort and filter function in Excel, like find and replace. Holy shit. Never have a
Did you know Command C and Command V will copy the item that you copied and put it somewhere else?
Oh my god. No, I think my grift would have to be like not Google Sheets, but some other like imposter spreadsheet program that was like even weirder. It was like, you know, the secret to columns. The new spreadsheet's gonna disrupt the spreadsheet industry.
New pad of paper and pencil available now.
A fucking ruler. Oh man.
Did you know that you can arrange data in columns and rows such that you can cross-reference the data?
Did you know you can retrieve specific items from those columns and rows based on criteria?
Did you know that writing things down means that you can look at that information later?
Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, I don't know that I'm trying to think. Yeah, yours.
In my future Excel course, which I will be releasing, I will explain
Yes.
to you how to write down the data.
My future spreadsheet course, which will definitely exist. Please give me $9.99. Thank you. I will also reference a single survey about how easy it is to use columns, the new survey, the new spreadsheet program.
All right, Paris. Can we fix it?
Can we fix it?
I mean,
I already offered many
retitle it.
options.
Just retitle it. Honestly, just retitle it as Crypto Basics. Done.
I don't know. I would do a lot. I would assert the author's expertise, clearly. If you want to use any kind, you know, like if you want to base your opinions on statistics and you know, ostensibly facts, which I think you should do. I don't think you should come out here and say like, men are like this or women are like this without backing it up. You know, this isn't a fucking comedy routine. This is supposed to be an advice book to help you improve your life. You know, look at some actual scientific studies, look at multiple surveys, also maybe like make sure you're looking at data about the population that you're writing to in the book. Yeah, I think just really step back and think about the fact that you're asking people who already don't have disposable income to then put their disposable income into a speculative market that doesn't have any guarantees. And that's pretty irresponsible, I think, in general. Unless you have a specific plan or you're really guiding people and like teaching them how to operate in a speculative market and to invest the proper amount of money. Like, hey, if you only got $1, put $1 in, fine. But that's not what's happening here, and this feels pretty irresponsible. Obviously, I don't agree at all with any of his ideas about like gender roles or dating. Just throw that all in the garbage. Honestly, he doesn't even need to talk about that. All he would have to do is like talk about all this, you know, do a little bit better about giving real guidance on crypto. And then also if you're going to make suggestions for which careers people should go into, provide some kind of roadmap to which careers they should pursue and how to get there, instead of just saying, go do general category of thing. That's not helpful to anyone. Yeah, and then the whole, I don't know, all the shitty gender stuff. And I mean, I don't know, I guess that's like this guy's jam, and I hate it. He's basically just, you know, it's like very Jordan Peterson, Ben Shapiro-ish ideas, like Chris said. But I don't even know that needs to be in here, because if he finds statistics and research to support the idea that generally people feel like they are able to date more easily if they have more disposable income, if he is able to prove that, he doesn't even need to talk about all that like garbage shit. He could just say, hey, do you need, this is a good way, like, let me show you how to make more money and have more disposable income to use on dating, I guess, or any pursuit. I don't know. I'm trying to be generous here, but I really think
shit can the whole dating angle. Just talk about crypto basics. That's it.
Yeah, and again, if you want to connect it to dating, you need a little more data there. This is I don't even know that this is a book. I mean, it's 36 pages of like things he Googled for who, like, I don't know what, probably took him an hour to put this together.
Poor value.
Yeah,
poor
value.
Extremely poor value.
Well, poor value for us. Lots of value for him. So I guess it maybe, I will say this, maybe this is succeeding as like a good side hustle grift for him. I actually don't know, but he is clearly trying to have multiple revenue streams. Multiple passive revenue streams.
All right. Well,
I do not recommend this. Don't buy this. Sorry, I forgot to say that.
No, absolutely not. Worst buy we've ever done on this show. Thank you, patrons, for giving us your money to spend on this kind of stuff. Thank you to Dari, Greg, Veronica, Will, D, Jared, Arant, Senia, Jakub, like Chorus, Elliot, Kieran, Martin, Jay, Luchek, Miri, Yanka, David, Anya, Patricia, Austin, Donnie, Crimson Paladin, Beast with the Least, Scott H, Robin, Laxtodes of the Void, the Taco Eating Unicorn, Last Man on Earth 01, and our Ko-fi donor Kiwi Thing. Thank you so much for supporting the show, everybody. We love you. All right, Paris. I am going to go, I don't know, I guess throw my money into a pit and hope that it grows into a money tree, which seems like a more reasonable avenue than what was presented here. And that money tree is what I will use to attract potential mates to me, you see, because of my guaranteed economic stability from the money tree that I am growing here. I promise it's going to grow. Just like, you just got to wait for it. Like, one day I'll get lucky and it'll sprout, and then I can give you all the lobster dinners.
Oh, man. I don't know. I guess I'll just close this out by saying it's fucking hard out there for a lot of people. And it sucks that this is the result, and that people have to suffer because we can't get our shit together as a fucking society. It's really too bad.
All right, well, do your best out there. Don't spend $10 on Amazon short reads promising to connect dating and crypto.
Yeah, agree. Don't do that. Do anything else but that. Do anything, honestly, use $10 to buy cryptocurrency instead. I'm actually serious. Actually. And just monitor it for a few days, and once you make $20, cash out. Better investment.
There you go.
In this book.
Better advice. All right. We'll see you later. We're going to charge $200 for our personal consultation crypto training course that will release later. Just be on the lookout for that. All right. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to another episode of Terrible Book Club. Terrible Book Club is an independent podcast produced by your hosts, Paris and Chris. Sound design and audio editing by Chris, with sound effects and music by Epidemic Sound and sometimes also Chris. Our theme song is Kiss by Yearn, which is, you guessed it, actually also Chris. You can find more of his soothing synthy sounds on Bandcamp at yearn.bandcamp.com. Do you want us to review a book of your choice on the show? Do you want access to some extra audio-visual weirdness? If so, become a patron at patreon.com/terriblebookclub. If you'd like to send us a one-time tip instead, you can do that at ko-fi.com/terriblebookclub. You can also support TBC for free by sharing the show on social media, following our accounts on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or Goodreads, telling your friends about your favorite episode, or by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, or anywhere else on the internet. To send us book recommendations or your adorable pet photos, send an email to terriblebookclub@gmail.com.